As we've been hearing there, the Muslim Brotherhood is saying that there was a security vacuum that allowed the situation last night to get out of control.
Certainly, that's what the video indicates, Monita, that there simply were not enough security forces, police, riot police, on the scene to stop this violence from happening. And this is really a situation that we've seen throughout Egypt since the revolution a year ago. The police simply do not have the presence, do not have the respect of the public to really function normally. And certainly, if you listen to some of the accounts of the witnesses, some of the fans who were in the Port Said Stadium, it does appear that the security simply broke down. Here's what one of them said.
The fans from the other team, they said to us, "We've brought your funeral shrouds with us." And then we were attacked horribly. And then we went to the tunnel, and the doors were shut with chains. That's the first thing. And then the lights were shut off. They were firing rubber bullets. I swear to God, I saw people who were being thrown off the stadium steps.
Now, the government has formed an urgent investigative committee to look into what happened. And of course, right now in Egypt, the Egyptian parliament is meeting in emergency session. What's interesting is initially it was being broadcast live, and then the Speaker of the Parliament called for the broadcast to be cut. Now, when that happened, we heard loud protests from some of the deputies, and just moments later, the broadcast was restored. Now, just a few moments ago, one of the deputies of the Freedom and Justice Party of the Muslim Brotherhood called for the resignation of the Interior Ministry, the General Prosecutor, and others, saying they simply failed to do their job in trying to maintain order in Port Said last night. Manita?
And Ben was showing those pictures there, all that debate in Parliament, and viewers can see there's a black band over the left-hand corner of the screen there. That's, we understand, as a remembrance and mourning of those who were killed in the clashes last night. But the question is, I guess, Ben, how much is politics so intrinsically linked to those who support the various football teams in the country?
Well, certainly in the case of Al Ahly, which is sort of the Goliath of Egyptian football, that's the big Cairo team, of which obviously many of the people here are supporters. Some of their fans have been leaders in the clashes against the police that we saw over the last year, certainly in November and December. Now, these fans have a long history of clashing with the security forces at football games, and they really have developed, in a sense, a political philosophy, one which is very antagonistic to the military rulers of Egypt, and they have, as I said, they have been leaders in some of the protests, so it does have a very political tone to it. And what's interesting is that Egyptians I know who have actually for some time been supportive of the military are now coming out and saying they're simply not doing enough to maintain law and order, to run the country in a professional manner. And what's interesting is over the last few days, there have been a series, Monita, of high-profile, broad daylight armed robberies of banks and other business establishments. And this really is giving the people here a real fear that the government, which is run now by the military, is simply incapable of running this country.